Ladies and gentlemen, you've seen these shows on TV. They're unscripted, real life crime stories. I call them murder porn. I don't understand the people who find entertainment in these things. They're demented. Not only is the subject matter bad, but the shows are template. It doesn't matter what channel or what streamer is showing real crime dramas, they all follow a same pattern. Back in the day when video production was the game I played, a lot of people did weddings and they would set up three or four different templates with holes in them, take footage at the wedding, and then, depending on the mood or the request, just drop footage inside these templates that were already laid out on the editing line. And then that would be the big, wedding video. That these shows are made the same way. They're all the same. The people who are interviewed say the same thing. The police detectives all say the same thing. Even if they interview the criminal, they say the same thing. It's just the same thing. So why am I ranting? Well, let me tell you why. Because tonight's lesson plan takes that template, I think makes a mockery of it, but in the process makes a pretty decent movie just in time for Halloween. Cinematic class is about to begin. Your professor is in. Greetings, salutations, and other sundry affair. I am your cinematic professor and purveyor of truth in movies. And the truth is, if you've watched any of those shows, you'll recognize it in this movie. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if some people who watch this movie actually think everything in it is real, because it's the same kind of mentality that watches this TV shows like this. And although they may be based on real life murders or real life kidnappings, they are so fictionalized and gussied up and fancy dancy. They don't represent anything near the real package there, because, like I said in the teaser, everything is the same. And while I'm ranting, all of you, my many followers, know I hate those found footage films. They just, they irritate the living daylights out of me. This movie manages to incorporate found footage, primarily from the cams on the police department, what have you, and it works. In the general scheme, this thing works. Let me tell you what we're talking about. It's a movie called Strange Harvest. And the version I saw comes from Roadside Attractions and Saban, both. The movie was originally made over in England and did well over there, and now it's made its way across the shores here. Did well in some horror fests over there. So it started off with two elements that I absolutely loathe: these true crime movie template type scenarios and found footage. Uh, they have this thing down to a T. I mean, from the very beginning, when they set up talking to the detectives, you're looking at it and going, "They got it." I mean, they are doing it better than the TV shows are doing it. It's all about a couple of detectives, and they're on this rather long hunt for Mr. Shiny. Mr. Shiny is a serial killer, and he has some kind of connection to an odd cult that no one can really find what it's all about, although there is a symbol, that tries to give them all kinds of clues. Is it witchcraft? Is it astrology? Or is it some kind of dark cosmic force of the two combined? Our detectives are Detective Joe Kirby, who was played by Peter Zizzo. He's the hardened cop, but even though he's seen a lot and it has made him bitter, he still has this very compassionate heart. You know what I'm talking about because there's one of these in every one of the shows. And Detective Lexi Taylor is played by Terry Apple, and she's the tough broad act. Okay, there's always one of these on the show too. They got to talk like a drunken sailor and try to talk like they think a man would talk because they have to prove that they're a woman that can make it in the man's world. And there's one of these in every one of these TV shows also. And Terry does a good job in putting this all together. And then finally, our third member of the big trio of stars, and this is Jesse Clarkson. He plays Mr. Shiny, and he does a pretty good job in this thing, playing the serial killer. And I said before that these murders span a 15-year period, so the detectives have been on the case for that's a long time for murder porn, isn't it? Here's a look now at Strange Harvest.
So we'll start.
Mom? Please don't do anything, please. If my parents can pay you anything, please. 911, what is your emergency?
Police department? Hello? Is anybody home?
Authorities continue to urge the public to keep a watchful lookout for a serial killer who remains at large and is extremely dangerous.
You seen this?
The San Bernardino Police Department should be held accountable for letting it get out of hand like this.
We are begging for you to help us.
Did you make the call, ma'am?
Yes, he's in there with my husband.
He was right there.
Oh my God.
Lizzie?
Okay, so let's go a little bit behind the camera here. Stuart Ortiz is the gentleman who is really responsible for this thing. He was the writer, the director, and the editor. A little bit on each of these a little bit later on. As far as the writing is concerned, like I've said, he has truly captured the essence of these very bad TV shows. He really has. He's got it down to a T. And in his directing, he's had his actors do exactly what you expect from this thing. Okay, where I might nitpick with him a bit is his work as an editor. Now, if you watch these TV shows, these real life drama, this murder porn, because that's what it is. The shows are usually an hour, which means commercial time added in. They usually last about 42 minutes. Out of the 42 minutes of the teleplay, that's too long. These stories can generally be told in probably 15 minutes or less. They drag them all out with these ridiculous, oh, he was such a nice boy. You ever notice people get killed? None of them are ever sons of bitches. You never have anybody say, "Oh, I gotta tell you, you're a bad man, Vitaly, and I'm glad you're dead." You never hear that kind of stuff. These are always the most saintly people around. He got that whole attitude going on, and he's really directed his entire crew to act that way. But those shows are too long, and this movie is too long for that. You're going to find yourself waning a little bit, just like you do on those TV shows. Because when you watch those shows, you watch the beginning, which is the setup, and then your mind wanders, or you're doing crosswords or something, and you watch the end to see what happens. This movie held my attention, though, so you got to say kudos to that. Hey, there is, I should warn you that Stewart has put a hidden scene at the end of the credits. Now, normally, those hidden scenes at the end are extra scenes, if you will. They pop up just before the copyright and before the curtain goes black. This one shows up after that. So you'll be sitting there saying, copyright and lasts a long time, and then it fades to black, and you think, what? And then the scene pops up. So you're warned, because that scene is crucial in case Stewart and his crew want to follow up on this. Okay, that opens the door for a sequel and spin-off, if you will. Hey, I also want to mention Seth Fuller. Seth Fuller has shot this thing, and he has it down perfectly. I gotta give kudos to him. I really do. When you watch this murder porn, nothing in it is consistent. When they do the shooting of the interviews, the detectives and what have you, that's always set up professionally. You have a light and what have you. When they go to the real video inside the interrogation room, it's always grainy and it doesn't look good. When they show the video that they secretly find from cameras that sit around the neighborhood or what have you, that's always really piss poor and jumpy, and he does that with his stuff in here. So he has managed to do all the poor lighting, all the bad video that comes with that type of put together for a show like that, and found footage as well, and he manages to put it all together really well, so that in this instance, this thing really works in putting this movie together, folks. I enjoyed this one, and it's funny when things like this happen, because they will go against all of the tenets that I look for in good movies. This happened with a film called To Kill a Wolf. It went against most of the items that I consider being a good film. It went against them, but still it was clever enough and creative enough to hold my attention and make it one of the better movies of the year. This one's going to fall in the same category. It is murder porn, which I loathe, but it's in movie form, and it's done better than what you see on TV. I think you'll like this. It'll keep you together if you're into the murder porn type of thing, or just if you're into serial killers or the occult or mysterious things that never really quite resolve themselves. It'll be a fun view for all of you fitting in to that. And as an aside, I gotta believe that Stewart made this movie. I mean, if you take away the murder porn aspect, the TV show, then he's got basically just the basic story, and probably would have been lost on the rocks of schlocky horror movies. But by doing it this way, I think he's doing what might people call a scungiamata. He's doing a real good mockery of this whole murder porn broadcast TV shows, and it succeeds immensely. The name of the movie, Strange Harvest. You won't like it. And now that you have learned what you have learned, you're in it.